Los Angeles is set to host 8 matches for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, taking place at the SoFi Stadium from June 12th to July 10th, 2026. This includes the U.S. men's opening game and a quarterfinal, billions of dollars and millions of visitors. But for local Angelenos, how much of that is actually within reach? Cities hosting the World Cup often undergo major transformations, like upgrading infrastructure, expanding transportation, and creating spaces for fans to gather and visit. Changes like these can boost tourism, create new jobs, and bring global attention. Forbes projects the 2026 FIFA World Cup to bring in over $30 billion in economic output and create around 185,000 jobs. For this reason, the World Cup is often framed as a huge economic success for cities. But the reality for residents and students might be a little bit more complicated than that.
In LA, I think it'll be cool for the LA residents as well, but a little bit troublesome, as I don't know if LA is capable of handling all the foot traffic. It's super busy already, so we'll see how that all plays out as well.
Hotel Airbnb prices and so on go up, certainly, for that couple months that the World Cup is happening. So it is an influx of tourism dollars, right, which goes a lot to, which doesn't necessarily intersect with what people who live in LA would like.
Hosting the World Cup isn't just about games. Cities invest heavily into infrastructure. Transportation upgrades, public spaces, and facilities are all introduced to prepare for millions of visitors. In Los Angeles, that transformation can mean anything from expanded transit access near SoFi Stadium and increased traffic management. While changes like these can benefit the city, they often prioritize the needs of incoming tourists over those that already live here.
Restaurant prices, other entertainment prices can be driven up, and just general crowding, right? That on big, if there's particularly big game days or whatever, could moving around become more expensive in terms of time.
Despite the games being held in Angelenos' backyard, the ticket prices range from $200 to $2,735, which is often unrealistic for the average family. In Los Angeles, the median household income is around $80,000 to $90,000, meaning attending one high-end match would cost nearly 1 week's worth of income.
From what I've known, I know a couple people have tried to get tickets, but they're super expensive from what I've heard so far. I wouldn't say for college students. Maybe for more grown adults, but not for college students.
There's presumably there's going to be all kinds of soccer-oriented events that are maybe more affordable, that aren't the games, but are events. It's going to bring visibility to soccer in LA. If the tickets were $10 a ticket, no one would get tickets because billions of people would want them.
I think more so the companies in the cities, they gain a lot of revenue from it. I don't know about the fans, we're kind of just left in the dust. If we can afford it, we can afford it, but more so the companies. I think it's kind of just something happening around us. It's not as accessible as one would like.
And it's not just tickets. Access extends beyond the stadium too. At LMU, even campus housing is being marketed towards visiting fans, with private apartments located just 6 miles from SoFi Stadium offered as accommodations for World Cup attendees. The financial benefits of large-scale events like this are not evenly distributed. Organizations like FIFA are expected to make around $11 billion in profit, mostly from media rights and sponsorships, which are largely retained through companies and not the host cities.
FIFA is also, a bit of a black box with corruption concerns and so on. That's sort of one entity putting on a show versus the economic benefits of that show spilling out beyond that to neighboring businesses and then multiplying again and again and again.
Large-scale events like the Olympics have consistently brought similar promises of mass tourism and economic growth, while at the same time contributing to rising house costs, increased policing, and the displacement of local communities. In the case of the 1984 Olympics, which was hosted at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the event garnered over $230 million in profit. But at the same time, the city saw a major loss of affordable housing in areas like Skid Row and a growing unhoused population during the 1980s. The economic gains promised were not quite evenly distributed across residents, and this pattern continues to show up in host cities. Studies show that housing prices in Olympic host areas can rise significantly, increasing by over 6% 6% in host areas compared to non-host areas. For residents already struggling with high rent prices, even small increases can have major consequences, especially in a city like LA, where the rent price is over $2,500 per month. Even a small increase can push families who have been here for years closer to displacement or force them out completely. So while the World Cup can bring global attention and investment to Los Angeles, for many residents, it can also highlight the growing gap between the scale of these events and their ability to participate in it. This discrepancy suggests that events of this scale are less about serving the communities that host them and more about accommodating the global audiences they attract. And if that's the case, the real impact of the World Cup may not be who it brings in, but who it leaves out.